Got it figured out. All right. Hey guys, we are going live with Need for Speed Rivals by Unsurvivor. Right, Lon? Take it away.
Rivals by Lonnesurvivor. All right, Lon, take it away.
Hello there, my name is Lone, and you can call me Lone Survivor if you want. That works as well. I mainly go by Lone. Today I have the man himself, George. He's going to be my co-commentator for the run as well. Today we're doing the... Oh. No, you first.
I run Need for Speed Cars. Been running that like for a year now. I do not run Rivals, but I am co-commentating using some very deliberately taken notes from Lon's run.
And today we're doing the cop any percent category, which is the cop career. As you see, there's 2 careers here. And timer starts when I select play as a cop, and I'll just do a countdown real quick of 3, 2, 1, go.
Good luck on the run.
So, yeah, this is Need for Speed Rivals. This is the... I don't know which number Need for Speed game in the series. It's the 3rd newest game in the series, released in 2013 for pretty much every console you could imagine. It was released on the Xbox 360, PS3, Xbox One, PS4, and PC. Because it was released in 2013 or I believe it was late 2013 as like a launch title for the Xbox One and PS4. And obviously, since the console just came out, they also released it on the previous consoles as well. But we're just doing the training to begin with, which is just basically telling us how the game works, really. Like how the speedless system works, which is how we progress through the game.
And it wouldn't be a Need for Speed without an unskippable tutorial, so...
Yep. Pretty much, it's a very famous, well, famous in like heavy quotation marks thing for the series to have unskippable tutorials. And it doesn't matter how many times you play this game. I've done this tutorial about 50 times or something. But we start off with just a rapid response, which is just essentially just getting from point A to point B, essentially. It's like a time attack, but for cops.
Before Lon actually started that event, you can see him like slowly come to a halt. Normally you're supposed to come to a halt immediately, but Lon held, was it W?
W.
Like, are you playing this? Yeah,
I'm playing this on keyboard, yeah.
Yeah. So Lon held W there doing like cutscenes like start further up because you can actually like accelerate. This being a newer Need for Speed means also that like this is a very heavy drift based physics. You also get NOS by drifting and like generally just being, generally just playing aggressive. So you will see him on NOSing around corners and all that stuff just to go faster.
Yeah, this is since this is developed by Ghost Games, and they believe that all racing should be done with drifting around every single corner. This game, you will see me do a lot of drifting, and like after a while, it starts off as kind of jarring, but you do get used to it, and it's quite seamless, even on a keyboard, which I play this game on, because the in my personal opinion, the controller bindings are just terrible.
Lordmore making a great point there too. The game's physics are actually based upon the FPS of the game.
Oh yeah, he's actually right. The game's physics are actually locked to the frame rate, which is kind of a problem because this game is capped to 30 FPS by default. It's locked to 30 FPS on all platforms, including PC, but there is a fix for PC that allows you to play the game in 60 FPS, which is what I use, because playing PC games in 30 FPS is just disgusting, let's be honest. I think
patches really.
I think most, if not everyone here, could agree. But
One thing,
like
one thing with the
the
Need for Speed community is that because like the general Need for Speed games are just most Need for Speed games are just horribly coded, especially the older black box games. So we're just in general very open to unofficial patches as long as they don't affect, the actual physics. So like if like the 60 FPS thing like actually like changed like how fast you could go and stuff, then obviously that wouldn't be a thing. But
Yeah.
as far as Lon knows,
well,
it does, I believe it doesn't
yeah.
affect.
It doesn't. I've done extensive testing, and it doesn't affect anything in a way that would be considered unfair.
Yeah.
Obviously, playing the game at 60 FPS could technically be counted as an advantage compared to consoles, but like gameplay-wise, there isn't any difference. Now that we've done the cop training, we have to do the racer training, which basically it just tells us they're basically the same thing, but it's obviously racer oriented. So instead of chasing racers, you're chasing cops, or you're running away from the cops actually.
And you have to do both tutorials because EA.
Yes, this game forces you to do both tutorials. The I guess you could say the lore reason behind this is because you need to understand how your opponent works.
I'm kind of quite alright. Let me fix that.
If you want, I can turn you up on my end on Discord.
No. I can easily fix that. Hold
Alright.
on, be right.
But yeah, so regarding the 60 FPS, there are two origin command line arguments that you can set in the advanced. I think so. That you can set in the advanced launch options. I can't get them up for you right now, but if you go to the speedrun.com page, the commands will be there. Basically, what it does is it sets the max FPS to 60, and it sets the engine update rate to 60. And how it seems, or this is what how I interpret it as, but provided both figures are the same and you can keep a constant frame rate, the game will run at what you would call 100% speed. It seems like the game engine update rate is what you would consider 100% speed. Anything above it and below it obviously will change how the game runs. So if say you have the updates rate set to 30 hertz, like 30, the game set to 60 FPS, the game would run twice as fast, which is interesting to look at, but obviously kind of unusable for anything serious.
Yeah.
And speaking of the differences between cops and racers, as I mentioned earlier, they also getting NOS is also different between the two different teams, I guess you could say, or factions. Racers have to actually do stunts to regain their nitrous, so they have to do drifting, jumps, all that kind of stuff, oncoming to build up their nitrous, whereas cops gain them naturally, but you can speed them up by doing the same tricks. Which is why you see me using like my nitrous a lot more on cop side, because I just gain more of it.
You can also drive through gas stations to immediately refill your NOS bar.
Yeah,
you'll see.
You'll see multiple gas stations scattered around Redview County. When you drive through a gas station, it fills up your nitrous, it completely repairs the car, and fills up all your pursuit tech, which we use later, because pursuit tech is mandatory pretty much.
And you could again see that Lonnesurvivor there to like get further on for the next event in the racer tutorial. Again, just small optimizations.
Yeah. Now we have to escape a cop. Basically, I just sort of follow this route, which takes this shortcut, and most times it escapes the cops just like that. And then this vineyard, up over here, we hide in here, and that's pretty much how we escape the cops. Although, yeah, we lost the cops a bit later than what's considered optimal, so this is I guess what you could say a this would be a suboptimal escape, because you usually want to escape the cop pretty much as soon as you hit the shortcut, and that way you pretty much lose him as soon as you get up here. And then you just lose the... Losing the cops is pretty easy in this game. It's not like Carbon, where it's sort of like you have to stay away from their view for a certain period of time and then hide. This one, it's more like you kind of have to stay out of their sight, really. Like, if the cop can see you, then it doesn't matter how far away. If they can see you, you're pretty much in a chase with them. So it's very helpful to hide behind things or go through a lot of debris and that, because it sort of obscures their vision. Now we have to do a head-to-head race, which is it's just like a race, except it's a 1v1. And you'll see that the car we accepted it with was going in the opposite direction. We do that just because he always spawns there, and it's much easier to just drive past him mashing the accept head-to-head challenge button, which I have as page up. It's just much easier to accept the event there. And then you obviously get more momentum because you're already heading in the direction of the race. And then once we finish that, we've basically finished this tutorial. We just have to head back to the hideout, and then we can actually start.
At the end there, but...
Yeah, that was unfortunate.
So now Lon actually gets to, do stuff in the cop career, but we finished both tutorials now.
Yeah. And this is where, like, from a normal playthrough, this is sort of where the game deviates a lot, and, like, a lot. Because I'm online connected to Origin, I have access to the game's DLC, which, as you might already be able to guess, I can use, since I'm connected to Origin and I'm online. So the difference between this run and a casual playthrough is we use the DLC cars. More specifically, we use the Lamborghini Sesto Elemento Enforcer. Like the cop cars, they have 3 versions of each. They have the patrol version, they have the enforcer version, they have the undercover version. They all have slightly different stats to them. For example, enforcer cars have a higher strength stat. I believe strength and durability stat, which means they can tank more. And they do have slightly different visuals to them as well. Like, obviously undercover cars are they have no liveries and they have very low profile lights on them. Just a very obligatory long loading screen, because this is an early Xbox or early current generation game, so loading times are very long.
Yep.
So we select our speed list. We select the second speed list in this, and it's essentially just a list of objectives that you have to do in order to progress through the game. And to show real quick, yeah, all the cards have different stats depending on which version. Since we have the money as well, we also buy a pursuit tech, which we will use for later. We also have a cutscene about all drive, which is basically this game's sort of biggest catch. Is it's sort of like a kind of a shared world kind of game. It works. It's kind of fun. I've played multiplayer about with like friends, and that's kind of fun. And everyone can be whatever faction they choose to be and do whatever the hell they want. It works. The only problem, in my opinion, is it's limited to 6 players. I believe it's like 6 players, 5 or 6 players. It's not very big. I assume it's probably old gen limitations. Because I imagine they didn't really put in much effort when building this game and porting it for all the platforms.
Like most console like most games developed for consoles, was then ported to PC. The PC port usually has very hard limitations.
Yeah, and it's not the fault of the PC. It's the fault of the port, and like the limitations. So we select this this speed list, which has us getting 5,000 speed points. We need to bronze any event, and then we use a repair shop. And what we do is we use this rapid response, because this route that we go through takes us through a gas station or a repair shop, so we can not only get the speed points from completing the event, but we also get the bronze any event and repair shop all in one event. And where this event finishes is right beside a command post, so we literally just finish and we're done, which is pretty handy.
So this game basically you have to complete 20 speed lists, and like when you finish a speed list, you're not just done. You have to also drive to a command post at the end. So that's why this event is so good. You complete all the objectives, so it's just one event, and then you simply the command post is right at the end, so you just done with the speed list immediately.
And as you can see, this Sesto is a lot faster than that Mercedes we were driving earlier.
So spoiling a little bit of the of what will happen in the future is that a lot of the speed lift objectives are like you have to hit races and stuff like that. Tech hits, ESP hits, busting races, all that kind of stuff. The game doesn't care which event you do it in. For example, you can just get all these events on just one event, and it happens to be one hot pursuit, which is really close to, I believe, the normal like command post.
Yeah, the tutorial command post.
Yep, the tutorial, and we really hope you like that hot pursuit event, because it's gonna be done a lot over this route. I believe you probably do it at probably like every speed list aside from like the starter speed lists.
Yeah.
You do that.
Yeah, everything. I believe these like first like 2 speed lists are the only ones that don't. There is another route you can use that was used by Hate Fever, which is pretty much my main competition in this game. And he used a slightly different route, but in essence it's the same. It's just a different event. They're both pretty much the same. They're just different events, but they're both like the same hot pursuit. Just same amount of racers, same difficulty, same time to complete, all that stuff. So we have to babysit this guy because we need to bust him for the speed points in order to complete that. And in the patrol 2 miles, which we pretty much get just from driving to this command post, we just need to go a little bit past the command post and then do a 180 to get the required amount of distance.
There is going to be another speed list later down the line, which requires you to patrol 10 miles.
Yeah, that comes up about halfway through the run, give or take.
There is a specific route on the highway for that.
Yeah. So that's the...
So
oh,
Lon
I
just
crashed.
has to drive
So
back to- Oh.
I hit the command post a little too hard, but it's fine.
No, I thought. So I have a 2-second delay on the RTMP feed right now, and I thought his game crashed, and I was like, oh yeah, EA
no, this
coding.
game is actually surprisingly well made. I haven't experienced. I know, but I haven't experienced. I haven't experienced that many crashes. Compared to some other games, there are a few game-breaking issues, like parts of the world not loading and you actually getting soft-locked. But that doesn't really... I've never really seen that happen outside of like playing the game in multiplayer. But this is the Hot Pursuit event we're talking about. I do hope you enjoy this particular event. It's quite short and sweet though, which is the best part about this event. But this speed list is pretty simple. You just have to get 3 pursuit tech hits.
One important thing.
You don't even need to finish this event.
Yep. you don't even need to finish this. And another thing is that you can, in order to like enter the command post, there's a command post I believe on the way of this hot pursuit.
Yeah, this is the one we're just
Yeah,
we're at just here.
yeah. But there's also a command post at the start of the hot pursuit. So like, let's say we have to do like another like we don't have all the objectives like latest speedless. We have to keep restarting this event to like get all the tickets, and we'll pass this point. What Lon can actually do is restart the event. He keeps all his objectives and then just exit that hot pursuit again, and he's right next to a command post.
Yeah.
That's an alternative start if he's already past that command post he just entered.
Yeah, there are a few command points that are quite close to this route that we can use depending on where we are. Obviously, they're further away than this one right in front of us, or like the one we went in earlier. So it's almost going to be slower, but it's a viable alternative.
Yep.
And since the pursuit tech, I should mention, since it's going to be a very big part of this run. For the majority of this run, I'll only be using ESF, which stands for Oh, what the fuck was that?
What's your profanity?
I apologize, but yeah, you see what I mean?
I have never seen that physics.
No, I've not.
This ever.
The game physics are also a bit wonky. I think that's just poor programming. But can have that as a. That was fun.
Yeah,
oh no, I hit me with the jammer.
Yeah, in case you haven't noticed yet, the Neo Need for Speeds tend to be A, they tend to be very drift heavy in their physics, and B, usually have some very obscure bugs that can lead to some very interesting things.
I believe the physics issues are all down to the game's engine, which for those of you who don't know is Frostbite, the same engine used in Battlefield. And as you might be able to imagine, Battlefield, and we picked the wrong speed list. Battlefield and Need for Speed are two completely separate games, so why they use the same engine is beyond me.
Yeah.
But
so Lon picked the wrong speed list. The speed list he was supposed to do has the objective of busting 3 racers. Since he accidentally picked the wrong speed list, he's gonna have to side slam 10 races.
Oh no, I picked you can change your speed list. You just lose the progress. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Although, when you think about it, that one might actually be faster. I think it depends on how fast you can get busts.
Yeah.
Getting 10 side slams might be faster.
It depends.
So we might have I'll have to do more extensive research. But depending on how fast you are, that might be an alternative or even faster strat. And when you can change your speed lists on the fly. Say you pick one that you're not really a fan of, you can always change it out, pick a different speed list. The only problem with doing that is you lose all the progress that you made. So if you say later on you do the grinding speed lists, which we get later on, you can lose progress because it does just wipe your speed points. But it doesn't matter in this run, since if we pick the wrong list, we usually notice right away, and then we can just change it. But you'll see me after every so often I do upgrade my pursuit tech. What that does is, I believe you get more charges. I believe shorter cooldown, and some of them I think do extra damage. I believe. But they do get increasingly more expensive as time goes on.
So also do the objectives on the speed list. Basically, the further you go into like the game's speed list, the objectives get more and more and more. They're scaling up with like the
they get more
upgrades,
complicated.
complicated.
Well, complicated in a sense of there's more to do and they have additional requirements, but the actual objective, it's pretty similar.
One thing about speedless that have an objective of getting amount of speed points is that they're usually accompanied. What's the word for it?
Accompanied?
Accompanied. Yes, that is the correct word. By objectives like side slowing races and tech pits, which force you to complete a hot pursuit, and that hot pursuit usually gives you more than enough speed points anyway.
Yeah.
So usually when there's a speed point objective, it doesn't matter because completing the other objective gives you enough speed points. The really only big exception to that is Speedless 13, which has you getting 100k speed points with no other objective.
Yeah, so you basically are just farming for that
Yep,
speed.
you're basically just gonna farm that hot pursuit. So what Lon could also do right here, instead of driving back, he could also just restart the event. But since restarting the event involves a long cutscene where like all the races
It does. You do have a, depending on how far you're away from the event, you do get a loading screen. If you're like
And
right
that
beside the
too.
event, the game just teleports you to it.
Yeah.
So you can use it, just depending on how close you are. We have enough to upgrade. Oh, should probably not have that open. Yeah, I apologize for that notification. So,
What happened?
I have WhatsApp web open in Chrome, and someone sent me a message.
You can have WhatsApp open in Chrome now. I did not know
Yeah.
that. Technology. The same technology that allows you to watch someone from probably 1,000 miles away doing a run with like 3 to 4 seconds delay right now.
Yes.
Isn't that cool? Yes. So unfortunately, Crash Ballon there. I believe this speed list is, what was it? This is
2
speed
busts,
list
5
7.
tech hits, and
Yep,
17,500 speed points.
yeah,
So
this is
technically, we
speed
don't
list
even
7.
need to finish this event. We can just get 2 pursuit tech hits, and then leave because there is no requirement to finish.
Yep.
So that's exactly what we're just gonna do. Just gonna finish and turn around.
Bye. Ditched.
Like that last guy can go finish the race on his own.
Yep. So we're obviously a very hard-working cop right here.
Yep.
So most of the speed, like the next speed is again gonna be doing that exact same hot pursuit. However, the speed list after that is the patrol speed list we mentioned.
Yeah. This
So
is sort
when
of
we
like
get to
a
that line-
chill segment of the run. It's where I know it's kind of weird to say, but we're almost halfway done. We're a few speed lists away from being considered halfway done. But it's kind of a nice chill segment midway through the run because there's nothing we have to do. We just have to do some good old chill driving.
Cheeky, on behalf of Lon, I will apologize for that because I do know how it feels when somebody has Discord notifications on their stream. That is like the worst crime you can do as a streamer. Please do not never have Discord notifications on your stream.
I remember one marathon that I was a part of. This obviously they have you disable stream notifications and that, and one of the runners I believe forgot that, and so a bunch of people just started following the channel to get the notification pinging off during the run.
That happened during, I'm not sure how many people follow SM64 here, but there's currently a big invitational tournament hosted by Simply. And during the race between Punkation, which is I believe second in the world right now on 120 star, and Benny, it's a 70 star tournament though. Benny, who was playing the audio on the stream, had his alerts on, and his sub sound was very long and very sore, please to say the least. So once people started figuring it out, there was just a sub train on Benny's stream just to get that sound on the tournament stream. Just a little like side story here. But yeah,
Yeah.
now we actually.
So I
need
never
the
actually
maximum speed
I
of
never
the-
actually noticed this, but I don't actually have the music playing. But to be fair, you would get copyright claims out the ass for them, so it's probably a good idea that we don't have them on. It's all licensed stuff.
Watch your profanity.
It's okay. We're gonna get a fair dose of copyright claims by the company itself, Avex, later on. So I'll do my fair share of copyright claims for the marathon. Because for those of you who are unaware, I'm also doing Initial D Arcade Stage 7 later on tonight.
Yeah.
And as all the Initial D guys here that do like runs and are part of the Initial D community will know, that Avex love copyright claims on YouTube videos using Eurobeat music. So that's fun for everyone.
Fun for the whole family.
Yeah. Yeah, see, Lord Mouse knows what I'm talking about. But yeah, we basically this is just a lot of just chill. Really, we get to drive through the. What I admit is very nice scenery. I must admit, I do love the visuals of this game. In my opinion, I think they're really good. Like this forest area. Like this forest area, for example, in my opinion, is really nice. And it's just, it's kind of weird. The game just sort of transitions between weathers like nothing. Like it was beautiful skies beforehand we got here, and then we got here, it's all clouds. Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, you do have a point, Lord Master. It is just content ID matches, but they just love to hand them out. Yeah, as you can see, the car physics, car ragdoll, I guess you could say, physics are kind of wonky in this game. I have no idea what causes them. It just sort of happens. But other than that, it's, the game physics sort of work, I guess. They do feel more arcadey, as you would expect from a Need for Speed game. But other than that, they're pretty solid. We drive in oncoming traffic because even though we're cops, we clearly have no disregard, or we have complete disregard for everyone around us. I mean, even that other cop we just passed, he was also driving in oncoming traffic. But then again, I'm British, so this is considered normal traffic. Because we drive on the left. So if anything, these guys are all in oncoming traffic. But if one thing I did not, that Overwatch message got in the way. I could not see him. That was the game's fault. But as you probably have noticed, yeah, just like real cops, yeah. As you probably have already noticed, this game, what was that? I completely forgot what I was gonna say, actually. Yeah, you'll notice the racers have different heat levels. Just now you see the racers going around Heat 1 cars, and it depends on which cop car you're driving. So if you're driving a lower end cop car like this Dodge or the Mercedes from earlier, then obviously you'll have lower heat racers. You'll have like your typical street racers and their Porsches and whatever. Whereas if you go into like the Sesto and the 1-to-1 and all the like Ferraris and Koenigseggs, they're all like Heat 4, Heat 5 racers. Because obviously you're driving a faster car to catch the faster criminals. It sort of works out.
these races give you more speed points. So
Yeah,
they
the higher the heat, the more speed points you get, which is why it's beneficial that we use higher heat cop cars during the farming event, which is it just makes it a whole lot faster because we have to do less busts.
Yep. And speaking of farming ends, we're going right back to farming.
Yeah,
Our
this
next
one
speed
we're
list involves our next speed list involves wrecking 10 racers. So
yeah.
guess what hot pursuit we're doing?
Yeah, we basically just need to get 10 busts. We use a different car in this event compared to the Cesta. We use the Enzo because in the game's story, which nobody really pays attention to, let's be honest. Nobody plays Need for Speed games for the plot. Not even to see the cheesy plot like Most Wanted 2005.
So basically, Need for Speed is just a porn game.
Yeah, Need for Speed is basically just... Yeah. Well, I mean, you could consider it car porn, yeah. Because you do get some beautiful cars.
That's true. That's true.
But yeah, so we're sort of going undercover to bust racers is basically sort of like a message, I guess you could say, to like get them to stop racing by going around busting everyone. And one thing I'll have to mention, it's going to be used later, is essentially what all these racers sort of are racing because of this guy called Zephyr. He's sort of like the street racer in Redview County. Like all the racer guys want to be like him. He's like the top dog in the Redview street racing scene.
Top chick.
And so basically we're building our way up, doing more dangerous stuff until we eventually go up and bust Zephyr ourselves. Which is
understand top chicken reference.
So obviously, like the more time goes on, the more dangerous street racers are getting because of like their, I guess you could say, influence. We missed that guy. We're just gonna restart the event. It's no big deal. I was gonna try and get like a cheeky like head-to-head ram, which would have taken him out. But no big deal. We can just do this event again. Just restart it and continue.
One thing you might notice is that doing like hot pursuits, like like not loading stream, but more like outer races, like drive past you. In the UI, it's saying easy there. That actually matters very later on in the ride. I mean, actually the second to last speed list.
Yeah.
You have to do 3 hard events.
The difficulty counter, it doesn't seem to mean much except in hot pursuits. The difficulty in hot pursuit events just means how many how many racers you have to bust. So for example, a hard hot pursuit could have like 7 racers or whatever you need to bust, whereas this one only has 3.
So for that speed list, we're definitely not going to be doing hot pursuits. But
yeah.
More on that later.
Yeah, we have 2 possible opportunities for that speed list. It would either be doing 2 rapid responses or 3 rapid responses and 3 interceptors. I believe the interceptors is faster because you can get them done in like 20 seconds if you get good RNG, whereas the rapid responses are not that fast because they're a set sprint. So we just need 2 more busts. We don't even need to finish this event. We can just bust these guys and be done with it.
And if Lon for some reason takes really long, when he can restart the event and end up at the command post, but given events probably just a few minutes, he will probably just be able to drive to the second.
Yeah, these 2 guys are very low, so I should be able to just take them out very quickly. They're just being tough. The AI, as you might expect, is semi RNG. Like they are unpredictable, and they're obviously meant to be unpredictable, because that's kind of the big thing. The big draw is that the AI is unpredictable, and sometimes it's unpredictable in your favor, Yeah.
Don't forget to switch your car back.
Yeah, since the game after this it goes back to the last cop car you used, it puts it to the Charger, so we have to go back and manually select the Sesto, which it's no big deal.
Yep.
I can find the Sesto at least. There we go. I believe we can. I should have enough speed points to upgrade my pursuit tech to max. No, I don't.
Yep.
I almost have enough.
So this speedless actually forces you to gold and interceptor, so we actually have to do something else than doing a hot pursuit for once.
Like, golding interceptors and rapid responses is just a time limit, beat it in under X time. And hot pursuits is bust X racers. As you see in the top right, to get bronze I need to bust 1 racer, and then silver is 2 and gold is all of them, obviously. But we gold them anyway because it's faster to gold hot pursuits, because the hot pursuit doesn't end until you get to the finish line, and as you see above the minimap, the finish line is about 5 or 4.5 miles away, so it would obviously be suboptimal to wait that long. So we just bust them as fast as possible. He actually encountered my EMP with the ESF, which is kind of what the ESF is supposed to be used for. It's supposed to be used as a defense tool for stun mines, EMPs, that kind of stuff. But it can be used as an offensive weapon if you ram anything with it. And that's what I use it for, because it does a lot of damage if you're going really fast. And I believe it also stuns them. So say they're about to activate a turbo or whatever, or they're in the process of activating the turbo. Oh, calm down, jeez. So this is what I mean by the AI is unpredictable. He wasn't supposed to turn around like that, but he still did. That's obviously kind of. If I got a hit off on him, that obviously it wouldn't be that big of a time loss.
You're debated in chat.
But it's fine. We can work with it. Since he's upside down, he's unfortunately gonna respawn, I believe. In fact, no, we're not actually. We're gonna actually be able to We're gonna do a real bust, I guess you could say, where you have 2 methods of busting racers in this game. You can either lower their health to 0, which is the most common, excuse me, most common method of doing it, or you can. My throat's killing. What the hell's going on with my throat? Or you can stay beside them for a long enough period of time without them moving, and that also busts them. It's a very like that bust method is very similar to like how it works in Carbon, for example. Like if you get stuck somewhere and a cop's right beside you for too long, then you get busted.
This mechanic also works in Hot Pursuit 2010, I believe.
Yeah, it works in Hot Pursuit 2010, although there is no indicator. Like, there's no way to tell if you're actually busting someone.
And in Hot Pursuit 2010 is also much faster in some events, because in that game, the what you would call interceptor style events, the opponents in that game have a lot of health. These events in that game are extreme pain, and if Speed Booster is here, he can definitely back me up on that.
Yeah, like
Because
Speed Booster,
has,
he's sort of he's like the Hot Pursuit 2010 guy. Like he'll know a lot about the like speed running that game. Very similar to how George is with Carbon, or I am with this game, or Ewell with Underground 2, or Hot Pursuit.
The Need for Speed community sort of has like just that one guy that focuses a lot of time.
Yeah, for most of the big games, like Most Wanted, Carbon, The Run, there's always going to be that guy that you can always go to, and he'll know stuff.
We also have a bunch of people that just run a lot of games that focus not on just one game, but just focus on running as many Need for Speed games as possible.
Mm-hmm.
There used to be GB, which is which was just an overall extremely good player at whatever Need for Speed. He could just pick up any game and he would just get he could get basically any world record he wanted if he just put a month of time into it. That's how good he was.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, he quit W.
Well, he
time
took
ago.
a break, I believe, which basically the same.
Yeah.
But he said he might come back.
I don't think that's. I think he.
Well, he's come back for
Yeah.
short stints, like when Most Wanted 2012 was the big thing, like like a few months ago. He came back for that. And he also did the Run Wii as like a meme or something. But apart from that, like he's like not serious.
And also provided some insanely hilarious and humorous commentary during our in-house marathon. We had like our Discord server. We do have a Discord server, by the way. I would chill it right now, but I don't have the link on copy paste. It feels bad, man.
I'm disappointed not having the link on copy paste.
But yeah, we had like an in-house marathon. I think it was like 2 months ago.
It
and
was
GB ran,
April, yeah. April.
yeah. So GB ran Need for Speed Carbon Challenge series during that marathon, and he didn't really play Carbon that much, so the run gameplay-wise wasn't that good. But he made up for it in terms of commentary.
Yeah, from I heard, I wasn't there for the entire run because I was busy, but from what I heard, it was pretty funny and pretty well done.
I'm not sure if the VODs on that are on YouTube
The VODs,
already,
the
but
VODs are on Twitch. I don't want to say I've been lazy, but I haven't got around to putting them on YouTube yet. Like they're highlighted. Yeah. Well, I tried to manually export them by like, whoa. I tried to manually export them, but the audio desync was just a nightmare to work with.
I see.
So I'm just gonna export the highlights. But yeah, they're on Twitch on the NFS-a-thon channel.
And if you're interested in seeing that, if you're like interested in like general like Need for Speed marathons, you should definitely watch that run, because that commentary was absolute gold. That beats any and every Need for Speed commentary ever. But anyway, let's actually get back to the game we're actually running.
Well, yeah, we're just
So,
farming just now, so there isn't exactly much meaningful stuff I can really mention right now. Since
I
we're just
touched on
doing
the
farming.
speedless.
You touched on it, yeah.
Yep. This is the 100k speed points list, so this is literally just doing hot pursuits over and over again.
About 25 minutes, give or take. 20-25 minutes. But approximate how much longer is left. My live split says best possible time just now is about 1:10, so you could use that as a base of how much time we got left.
Wait, what's your world record again?
It's like 1:11 or something.
Did somebody say potential world record?
Well, I'm using old splits with my previous PB 1:15:40, so you never know. I am like ahead in terms of my splits, because I believe these are the same splits I used in Midwinter, because it has a very long first split, not the first proper split, because I had to restart the game. Because we were having the performance issues. But we could be on pace, potentially.
Who knows? That'd be pretty high.
It depends on how good our RNG gets.
So this speedless is wrapping up very soon.
Yeah, we're just about done.
Okay, done. Yeah, I had like a little delay.
Yeah,
2 seconds.
I know.
So.
Yeah.
Yep. But if you thought we're done with the hot pursuits, we're done with grinding hot pursuits. Nope. We're going right back to grinding hot pursuits.
And in fact, yeah, one thing different about this is we need the shock ram, which is a different pursuit tech tool. I don't know its exact purpose, but we need it, so I have to use it. We have to get 3 hits with it. The thing about this one is it, like, to use sort of a term other people might understand, like an FPS term, it like you can over penetrate with it, so you can hit multiple racers at once with the shock ram. So if we can line it up right, we can hit possibly all of them in one go. It's unlikely, but it's possible. As you see, we got 2 hits there. We hit first and second and third, but not first. We also need to get rear ram, which is basically just hit them in the butt. That's like the simplest way of explaining it, is just hit them in the butt.
So basically, this is like the Yahigasm of Speedless right here.
I think I have that as a FFZ emote. I think I have Gachigasm.
Who does?
Or one of, yeah, it will, yeah, actually, yeah, who doesn't?
If you want to be a quality meme Twitch stream on twitch.tv, you have to have that emote.
Also, this is actually a very suboptimal hot pursuit. We haven't actually busted anyone yet. Which is bad because we need to bust everyone. We managed to get one guy. I wanted to get the first guy, otherwise we were never going to catch up to him.
Could probably go
Second
for
guy
some
got
cheeky
busted.
head-to-head hits
Yeah,
here.
yeah, yeah.
Nice.
I missed the third guy.
Ooh, that's not good.
Yeah. So, we're losing time with this speed list. Hopefully I can make it up with the second hot pursuit. If not, that's not good. Oh god, this is not good at all. So about that world record pace.
Yeah, it had to die somewhere, I guess.
Yeah, well, we got him. We can restart. We're gonna lose pretty much most of my time that I saved, which is F. Big fat F, but whatever.
Yeah, drop your F in the chat. I'm just double checking, are the audio levels fine now? I was just, because I upped my mic early on, I was just double checking. Everything's fine now, then. That's good.
Probably would have noticed by now.
Yeah, probably would have gotten another nap if I'm too loud or too
Yeah.
quiet.
I also noticed I'm lacking on rear rams as well, so I should prioritize that instead of busts. Thankfully, rear rams are actually pretty easy to grind. No sexual innuendo intended. But, we just have to sort of rub... I can't say anything without it being, kind of sexually suggestive. But, we just basically...
Might as well just rename this split, in your split like use Gahigasm at this point.
Yeah, we basically just need to sort of, grind against their butt a few times. See, I never thought about this.
Let's just keep it there. And
Yeah. So, the
I think
stream...
there's gonna be a split rename soon.
Oh, I should probably... Yeah, I'd probably rename this split to, lewd or something lewd.
Speaking of funny split renames, there's a crew member in Need for Speed Carbon that's called
Samsung.
Yeah, Samsung, yeah. And like early on when I started running that game, I just called him Samsung.
Like the tech brand.
Yeah, yeah, like the phone brand or tech, you know what I mean. And well, everyone just wore with it, so now everyone just calls him Samsung.
Yeah, it's a habit. It's hard to break.
It's sort of like it's sort of just every like game and its associated community in Need for Speed just has its own memes. It's just that Carbon has a lot of them because I do a lot of stupid things when I run Carbon.
Well,
But
we'll
that's
talk
probably
about
to be touched
that. Yeah, we'll talk about that after this run, next run, which is
Yeah.
George playing Carbon for you wonderful folk.
Unfortunately, it's not the category that it would happen in, but we can still touch on that.
All right, so this one we need to, instead of using a shock ram, we need spike strips, and I actually have a very good strat that I believe I got from Hate Fever, I believe, that makes getting the spike strip hits incredibly easy. Because obviously, as you see the cutscenes of the racers showing up, we can essentially just leave a spike strip where they come from, and they will actually hit the spike strip as they start the event, which not only gets my spike strip hits, but does damage as well. It does a decent amount of damage depending on how many wheels you hit, which makes it a lot faster.
Yeah.
So as you'll see, they'll just drive over the strips there, and second and third got their wheels spiked over, which makes it makes that one really easy, because that one's the most RNG dependent pursuit tech in the game, because you can either get lucky or just never hit anything. It's just the nature of spike strips.
The game basically just doesn't reset what you have laid on the ground when you start an event, so you can just do that.
because it's a shared world. The game just does that on purpose.
Yeah.
So after we do this event, which we just get by busting this guy, we'll do the interceptor so that that's complete, and then we can go back to farming some more speed points.
Oh wait, we're actually doing something else with Hot Pursuit for once. Holy crap!
Yeah. I also have to be careful because I can hit my own spike strips, and I will damage myself with my own spike strips. Oh, I'm actually in an event. Oh, never mind. Okay.
No.
I was in a. No. I finished the Hot Pursuit, but since this is an open shared world game, you can get into pursuits in free roam, and that's what I was stuck in. Like if you have your sirens on, or you hit a racer, or they hit you, the chase you will begin to chase them.
Oh yeah, I was gonna touch on that actually at the start of the game, but due to like how much we had to explain the tutorials, I wasn't able to. But you don't want your sirens on when you're driving to like an event or something.
Yeah.
Because you might just get into like a pop chase, like London, like into chase like London.
Yeah.
And, yeah.
But you can just quit them. You can just quit, and it works perfectly fine.
But obviously unnecessary time loss. So
Yeah.
just keep the sirens off and everything as well.
Oh, we overshot the. In fact, I could put down another spike and get some extra hits. I think I've used just a little bit too much pursuit tech than I should. But we got another hit, which was always good. That guy is in a poor spot. Well, he got cucked as soon as the race started.
Great
So
kill.
we'll put him out of his misery already.
Yeah. I mean, if the game just gives it to you.
Yeah, why not take it?
Exactly.
Then we can just come and bust this guy. And the one exception to the weird physics, like if you crash out, you obviously have to wait that cutscene before you respawn. The only exception to that is if you enter the water or out of bounds, then the game will automatically respawn you. Which is nice, but you can't really abuse it, unfortunately. Like, not for personal gain. Now we just need to
It's
do
more for
interceptors, so we can switch back to EMPs and make our lives incredibly easier.
That like out of bounds, like cutscene, like crashed cutscene skip is more luck based. It's more for like, oh I crashed, but I was lucky enough to get out of bounds.
You can use it to quickly respawn racers, but it's not very likely that you get the cutscene to happen. Holy shit, that's a terrible start, which is restart.
Alright.
But as you probably saw on my friends list as we started, these easy events can be done insanely quickly, and that's just due to getting a very like god tier start of the event, where it's the racer gets bad RNG, crashes into something or whatever.
That guy got demolished, by the way.
Yeah.
Absolutely demolished by the ESF.
Yeah, it's a very the ESF EMP combo, which is why I use it. It's very effective. You can get a hit with the EMP and the ESF, and provided you're going fast enough with the ESF hit, you will one hit the racer and take them down instantly.
Yep.
Which is very OP. Oh, camel.
Oh, unfortunately missed him there.
Yeah. The one problem with this combo is if you're too far away, the racer can sort of veer off course. Obviously, from the EMP, they lose control of the car. So they can, and most of the time will dodge your car.
I'm just double checking you have stream mode on in OBS and Discord.
Yes. Yeah, I have all sounds disabled on Discord. Like sometimes I forget if I muted myself or not on Discord because it doesn't tell me that.
I just DM'd you my link. Actually, hold on. I will DM you my link to my RTP feed for later.
Okay. I mean, who like it's fine. We can get a ping anyway. It's fine. I'll just get everyone to check their Discord, But no, yeah, I have streamer mode on and I have Discord sounds disabled.
Yep. Again, please, if you actively stream and you're watching this, please never have Discord sounds on your stream. It's the worst thing you can ever do.
I used to for muting and unmuting my microphone, but I noticed that got annoying. Like that for like the viewer, like the sound of me constantly muting and unmuting my microphone was getting annoying, so I just turned it off. So sometimes I confuse myself. But hopefully I was able to unintentionally bait people with the WhatsApp web message. I know Lord Mouse was saying something about it, so I think I got him with it.
But you can see the objectives are there's more and more objectives on the speed list now as we go to the end of the game.
Yeah. We're currently on the 17th speed list out of 20. So we're getting there. We're slowly but surely just grinding our way there. Thankfully we have side slams this time, not rear rams, so it's fine. We're not gonna get some more gachi-gasms. But this guy... See, sometimes they do have a very low health, and even just sometimes just brushing against them doesn't take them out. It's kinda weird. But yeah, as you can see, with that combo, most of the time it will just essentially one-shot them. It's especially noticeable when you have high-tier pursuit tech. I currently have it set to the max, or I have it currently at max level, so it will do the most damage, or the most damage it can at its level. Oh, we almost got him. But we'll have to take this guy out because we need to complete the event. But yeah, I guess you could say the main reason we have the Heat 5 car, or the Heat 5 Heat 4 and 5 racers for grinding is because they give 8,000 for Heat 4 and 10,000 for Heat 5. Plus that event we just finished gives us 6,000 for golding. So if you get 3 Heat 5 racers and then go gold the event, you get 36,000 speed points, which makes grinding these speed points incredibly easy. Because all you need to do is just like you get about a third, say with this current 100k one, you get about a third of it in one event, give or take, you know, doing some quick, non-specific math.
Who needs math?
Yeah. But we just still need some speed points so we can just start this event and get a bust. A bust should be perfectly enough, to be honest, because we need 12,000. We'll probably get 1,000 or so from the just hitting them as well. Like, which should just give us just enough speed points. All going well, at least, provided we bust a Heat 5 racer. If we bust a Heat 4 racer, then obviously it's not going to be the case. Oh, that was bad.
Ooh.
Yeah, we got hit by a
I'm not sure what
shockwave.
that was about, but
That was just a shockwave. Yeah, the shockwave hit me into the wall, but because the shockwave puts you at a pretty fast speed, it knocks you out.
Nice. At the
Yeah, as you
first
see, we
glance,
got a
it
Heat
looked
4
like you
bus, so we're just short.
At the first glance, it looked like you, for me, that you got rear ramp there, but yeah.
Yeah, I got hit by the shockwave.
I really hope that wasn't loud, like popping sound, because I just hit my mic. If that
I don't
happened to
think
produce
so.
some loud,
I don't
okay,
think so.
thank God.
It didn't sound loud on my end, but you'll know if it was loud because everyone in chat will just be dead. They'll just have your ears will just be dead. So this is the 18th speed list in the game, so we're almost done. We just need 125,000 speed points, 2 hot pursuits, 2 interceptors, 8 tech hits, and 6 busts, which is very simple, very easy. The tech hits and the busts we'll get just from the hot pursuit alone. Or the busts, yeah, definitely from just the hot pursuits. And then the speed points we can just get from farming. Tech hits, just we'll get that one naturally. We don't really need to put effort into that one. Wow, this guy's really low, and it's kind of a problem.
Holding onto a string of life.
Yeah. Oh, he actually hit me with a jammer just as he got wrecked. Jammers are, in my opinion, jammers and stun mines are, in my opinion, the most annoying racer pursuit tech as a cop. Because the stun mines, they can deploy, they're just like spike strips, deploy right behind your car, and if you're tailing a racer trying to hit them with ESF or whatever, it can completely ruin that attack because your ESF will counter the stun mine and it'll deactivate. And then jammers obviously stop you from using your pursuit tech and disables any active pursuit tech. It's incredibly useful as a racer. So if you ever watch a racer any percent run, you will see they do use jammers a lot, especially near
Also,
the end.
again, great demonstration of Ghost Game physics. Lon hit the racer with an ESP, slammed in a wall, and just went across the roadside.
Yeah.
And like 200 mph.
Oh yeah, they go really fast. The car physics go really fast.
I believe that might kill you, IL. Don't quote me on that. Maybe.
Just a little.
Yes.
But this event, it doesn't really matter what order we do the events in, as long as we do the events before we complete the speed points. because that's the most efficient way of actually doing it, like gaining the speed points while completing the events. So that's why you saw me alternating.
Didn't get the bus there.
Yeah, but that's why you see me alternating between the Hot Pursuit and the Interceptor. It's just so that they can be done. Oh, just... And
So
actually, we
close.
will have AI partners. No, most of the time, the AI partners don't do much, but I have seen them actually bust these racers before, which is kind of funny, but there's nothing I can do about them. Like the cops, they're just around like the other racers are.
Does it actually give you speed points if they bust people?
Yeah, I believe so. Because
So that's like another,
because
yeah.
technically they're on my like they're partnered with me technically. Like it'd be like an all drive if you played in multiplayer, but with another racer or a cop. You go into what's called all drive, and you both get speed points for doing things. So say you were playing as a cop with me, and you busted a racer. We'd both get speed points provided we were both in all drive together.
If you're on all drive together, does that mean you only play against all drive racers, or can you like play
No,
against
like
AI?
all drive. No, yeah, AI will always be around. But if you're in
So
like all
technically-
drive is only really applies if you're sort of beside another cop. Like if you're in like say like a mile of each other, you could be in all drive mode. It's basically like if say you're gonna drive around with your buddies. Yeah, you and your buddy would be in all drive mode.
So
but if you-
unfortunately, there isn't like a way to co-op speed in this game.
No, well, you can. If you were to be in a private lobby with a friend and do this together, you could technically co-op speedrun this, which is why I'm playing this game in single player mode, which still requires me to log into Origin, by the way. I still need to
Yeah,
connect to
that's
EA servers to play this game in single player mode with DLC enabled. Because if you play this game in
Because
offline
EA
mode, you cannot use the DLC. I don't know why. That's just EA things. That's probably their Origin DRM. It's like, oh, they're not online. Don't let them use the DLC. But anyway, so the it is specified that you either play in a session with no players, so like a private session, or single player mode, because of how OP all drive is, because you can get so much more speed points in all drive. Now we're on the 19th speed list, which is complete 3 hard events, as George was mentioning earlier. I do this interceptor called Goliath. It's a hard difficulty one. It's the one I've had the most success with. I believe Hate Fever has a different event, which is slightly faster, I think. But I get on perfectly fine with this event. It's a bit RNG because sometimes the racer will just be like, I won't say like untouchable, but you just have no chance against them. Like they rubber band away from you.
Yeah. There's actually something similar in Carbon. Most of the Need for Speed games have some sort of rubber band.
Yeah, and I hope
Usually,
like,
actually,
yeah, I hope
Actually,
everyone knows what rubber band is. Most
if you don't, rubber band is basically, it is literally what the name says. Imagine there's a rubber band between the two cars. So if you get really far away, the game is like, oh no, he's too far away, we're gonna slow the other car down.
another
that's-
name for it is catch up
Yep, catch up
or mustard. I'm sorry, but, terrible jokes aside.
Yeah. But yeah, in Carbon there's actually another sort of like glitch, like what Lon said, where they can just sort of like reverse rubber band. It's at one event right at the end of the game, doing the 80% route, during the race against the Cruise City bosses, which we unfortunately won't be doing later because we won't be running any percent, but just to touch on that, during that race, catch-up seems to be disabled, meaning if you have a too slow car, they can, the free
It becomes impossible.
race. Yeah. Which is actually a major issue because there's sort of a meme category in Carbon called stock percent where you can beat the game in a stock car. That event is the hardest
Stock car being a starter car.
Yeah.
Like the Mazda, the Alfa, or the Camaro.
Yeah.
But you can only use
Which
that.
makes that event literally the hardest event in the entire run, which means nobody really ever attempts it. I've attempted it once and I got a 320 and I've never done it again because it is just pain.
Yeah, Darius Canyon, the final event in Carbon, is easier.
Yep. The final event of the game is easier in a stock starter car than a race that's sort of like a sequence race 2 races before. That's how hard it is without catch-up.
Yeah, so like the reverse rubber band is essentially like if you are too far away, the enemies will slow down so that you can catch up. But then you have reverse, like a different type of reverse rubber band where the opponents get further from you. And you will have no chance of catching up to them.
I guess that's not really reverse rubber band, but inverse rubber band.
Oh yeah, I guess, yeah.
Yeah, inverse versus reverse.
Whoa, slow down. English lessons.
Yeah. So now we're actually on the final speed
Yeah.
list of the game, which means we get to shut down the like big racer.
Yeah,
like,
so the
big
guy I was
racer.
mentioning earlier, Zephyr. This is this event we go and bust him basically, and he's different from all the other racers because he's heat 10. All the other racers are heat 5 or 4 max, but this guy's heat 10.
Time is coming up, by the way. So
Yeah,
you
time
can
will be up in about 30 seconds. I'll give a call when time is. It's when the screen goes black after busting Zephyr. And as you can see, this guy is a bit hard to catch. Like, he slows down a lot for us. For whatever reason. And I believe his car is somewhat modded because it does seem to go a lot faster than all the other cars. We kind of also got a bad 0 hour. He should be busted by now. But yeah. So if you just give me a moment to show, time will be momentarily. Nope.
Time will be coming up very soon now.
Yep, time will be up now. Time.
GG.
Yep. So now we're done pretty much. This is the end of the Cop Any Percent career. Basically what happens after this is we get in a bad accident trying to bust this guy, and we get discharged from the force for, I believe it's like, it's because of our actions, because we were getting kind of dangerous, we get discharged. And then we become the new Zephyr. I can't remember what his name is, it's like Faith or something. And he essentially takes over and becomes the top racer. So it's like, you basically start from scratch. But 1627, yeah, that's under estimate. I think estimate's 120, and that's still considered a very good run. I would say anything under like 130 is good for even for a noob. But that's Need for Speed Rivals Any Percent. Thanks for watching this run, and I will see you with me, or I will see you with George. Next run,
soon.
yeah, doing Carbon Challenge Series. And,
See only.
Yep, and we'll see you there.
And yep, we will get set up now. See you there.